Hi guys, today we're at the Class of 92 Academy, the Academy of Salford City FC. Now in case you don't know, Salford City FC is owned by the Man United legends, the Class of 92, all those top players that had so much success with United. So today we're going to take a look into their new exciting academy project, which is helping players who maybe fall out of the game from several clubs, give them a new opportunity and a chance back in football. Let's take a look inside. So guys, here we are, just watching the first training session on a Thursday. Boys have done a little bit of a warm-up, a little bit of an activation, and now they've gone into a little bit of a 3v1 rondo. Just noticing like the intensity. Intensity is really high, loads of banter. They're doing a few forfeits. If you're the best player in the group, you move up. If you're the worst player in the group, you move down. But you can just see the intensity and the fun and the quality the coaches are getting. So it's a chilly day in Manchester, like it probably is all the time, to be fair. It's up north from the soft southerner in my hat and that, but I can tell you what, the boys are buzzing already, and he's got a real good tempo and attitude to the session already. So looking forward to see what he does next, but so far so good. Here Jamie's doing a little 1v1 practice, simple to set up, little back to pressure hazard type practice. So you see the players just playing it in, players got to try and protect it and then shake the player off. Really good technical content coming from the coach, talking about body and hips and protecting the ball with your arm and trying to shake that defender off. He started playing the ball from behind into it, and now he's changed to playing the ball into the back. I think the second bit is much more effective in terms of that's really difficult to try and receive and protect the ball under pressure and then shake the player off. This is, I think, is the hardest part of 1v1 to get this situation. So now I spend a lot more time on this sort of stuff. So really good and real good quality technical content.
The ball protection was just me standing between the two goals, playing the ball out, and then it's a race between the two to get there. And then as soon as they get there, protect it. Looking at the technical elements, and then can they go and get the goal. So points between me and my partner, but also then points from my team. Within that then, the ball got played in the air for 2.5 minutes. Then we flipped it, so then as they were running out to me, I was firing the ball into them. So then you're looking at a different technical element, so a soft touch to secure the ball, and also then if they can do it, a soft receiving skill that can take them straight into space, so they know where pressure is straight away. And then again, receiving in the air from that. So running onto a ball with a player behind you, receiving it and then turning and playing. And then Lewis has worked on a quick passing practice, again with a point system. So passing and receiving. Two of the lads this morning, Ibrahim and Lewis, this is like a player part of a session. So they've actually put this possession part together, which has got a 1v1 element in the middle. So yellow must get it into yellow. But if they win it, then there's a 1v1 duel in the middle where they can get double points. And then from this now, then we'll just extend that into a game.
So how often do the boys lead the session?
Once a week. Yeah. So they have their individual development program, which is their IDP. So that's player led that they'll do this afternoon. But within sessions, we try and get them to sit down and get their ideas, because I think there's a lot of good ideas out there with players, because obviously the players have been in loads of different sessions with loads of different coaches, and you look at our players' backgrounds, some of them been in academies and not been told they're good enough to get scholarships, so they've had to deal with that trauma. Some of them have been in Sunday League, some of them have been abroad and come into this country. So again, there's loads of different things that we can learn, and I think as coaches you can't be too humble to pick up what the players have been in, because also the players will tell you what they've enjoyed. And I think as coaches, we always have that session that we go to, or them couple of sessions that we think, yeah, they'll love this, but do we actually ask the kids if they've enjoyed it? Or is it just we enjoy it as a coach, because they might give you a completely different outcome?
It's a good setup, quality coaches, lots of good training, intense, hard work, but it's worth it.
Have you played for the first team then?
Yeah, I played for the first team, was it Tuesday night I played for the first team Came on last 20 minutes, so obviously pleased with that, and they give good opportunities at the club.
We plan our own sessions, say like once a week. Everyone has a different turn, and we ask the boys if they like them, and if they like them, then the coaches put them into their sessions.
What's been the best thing about Salford's, the Class of 92 Academy since you've been here?
It's just different to every other academy. Like I've been at Crewe before, Crewe Alexandra, and it's just totally different. I think I'm getting more, like the coaches are admiring me more than what Crewe did, and I like it better here than I did at Crewe.
Here we go, guys, day 2 at the Class of 92 Academy here at Salford City. This is called Fun Friday, the guys call it. So it's a bit of a technical session they do in the morning with some little technical interval type session with some 1v1 as well. And then also I'm going to get a chance to work with the boys as well. So I'm really excited. That should be a lot of fun. Hope they respond to it. It's been a bit wet this morning, but the sun's come out. So we're hoping for a bright day. A bit boggy the conditions. So thinking about my session, how I'm going to adapt it to the environmental conditions as always, but looking forward to another good day. This beautiful pitch, sun's out, stuff dreams are made of. What more do you want with your life?
The academy's integrated really well. We see them most days. They're in and around first team players, the managers, coaches. We all link in well together. Sports science staff, the physios, we call the same physios, etc., etc. So I think the integration is as good as you'll get at a club that's full-time professional. I've always worked with young players coming through. You know, when I worked in non-league before I came to Salford, it was always with young players coming through. So I'm a big fan of young players coming through because they're hungry. They have this willingness to learn and they're hungry to succeed. So from my point of view, my philosophy has always been to give young players chances to come through.
The academy lads they've had a rejection. They've had it tough. They've been down. When we first brought them in on the academy trial day, they were very depleted, they were low, lacking confidence. Through the good work of Jamie and Lewis, our academy coaches, they've been given that opportunity, they've been given some care, and they've built a confidence up, and now they're different people, and they're actually now at a level where, you know, they're actually thriving. They've had that rejection and they don't want to go back there. There's a real hunger and a desire and a determination from these lads, you know, and they're an absolute pleasure to work and be around. They're infectious, and they're great for the first team as well, because first team now, like we had at United, that in the 92 season, 93, first team now looking over the shoulders and treating these lads and seeing these lads as a real threat for their position, which is what we want. So overall, all in all, after the first 6 months of the academy being up and running, it's moving in the right direction, absolutely.
everything we have is scored. So if it's 1v1 duels, there's points for that. If it's games, it's scored, but everything's tallied up, so the boys will know exactly where they are. Fitness testing results and data, that they see it, so they see exactly where they are within the group. It just makes the whole environment very competitive, and that's what we want, because to be a footballer, to be at the best level, if they're going to go and play in the Conference, League 2, League 1, they've got to be competitive, and they've got to have some resilience and a certain amount of robustness, because fingers crossed they're going to be playing 2 games a week, so they'll be playing Saturday, Tuesday. So we have to start instilling that into them now. So their training schedule's hard, and also they've already played 30 games this season, and we're trying to get their bodies used to that continual game preparation. The biggest thing here is, I think, whatever club you're always in, there's always a culture at a football club, and sometimes you can change that culture, and other times you can't change that culture. And I think the thing that appealed to me about coming to Salford was being a part of it from day one, and being able to shape the academy of how we wanted it to be shaped. So that's been the biggest part. And the first 2 days of pre-season for us were just about setting the culture and creating the culture. They didn't touch a ball for the first 2 days. It was about finding things out about the boys, and what football meant to them, and previous cultures that they'd been involved in, because a lot of our players have come from other clubs. So it was great to get their feedback on what they'd good culture and also bad culture. We don't really have rules. One of the things that we've set, the boys are given time that when training will start. So training will start at 9:30 with pre-activation, but some of them are in from 8 o'clock, others come in at 8:30, 9 o'clock. So there's no set, right, you must be in for this time, you must have breakfast. Some of them will choose to have breakfast at home or on the way in. Some of them will have breakfast here, but they're all ready to train at 9:30, and they're all out for pre-activation. They set the standards themselves, and they've got ownership. So they've come up with the rules of how they want to do it. So the boys are split into jobs. So some will do the changing rooms, some sweep the corridors of the building, some are in the kitchen area, so they do the washing up and they do the vacuuming. Others are on equipment, and they know their group, and within each group there's a foreman. So if there's any problems or the job's not been done, we go to the foreman of that group, and then the foreman will go to the rest of the group to make sure that the job's done. So it's just about setting standards. That's what we're about, and that's what the culture is. So it's a very hard working culture. I think there's no point in us trying to look at what works for Barcelona or what works for Paris Saint-Germain, because our boys aren't French and they're not Spanish. They're from Salford, they're from Manchester, and that's what we want. We want our team to reflect the area that they're from. So we want a certain amount of local boys within that. We don't want Salford boys having to go up to Preston and Oldham and those kind of clubs if they're on our doorstep, and we just have to make sure we can offer them the best footballing education we can, so that they'll choose us instead of going to other professional clubs. Scholes, Giggsy, Phil Neville's been down to train with the boys. Chris Casper's joined in sessions. So if they've spoke to the boys on one-to-one sessions. That took a massive interest in what's going on within the game. Texting before games to wish them good luck. Done analysis sessions with the boys. Offered great opportunities for the boys to go to games and see world-class footballers playing at the highest level, but the opportunity then to analyse those performers as well.
So there you go, guys, inside the academy, the Class of 92's Academy, Salford City FC. Been really impressed with my 2 days here, not only with the quality of coaching, which has been fantastic, also with the intensity of the boys, and just about everything that goes around them, everything that's given to them, the behind the scenes stuff, the analysis. It really is, without being one of the categoried academies, it really is a top class academy here. Also thinking about reflecting, I think about, I heard that word twice from Jamie and also the psychologist, trauma. So a lot of these players have been released from clubs and fallen out of the system from Premier League academies, and they've been given another opportunity here. And I think that's really important. They've got that hunger and that desire, and that was really on show, obviously on show these last 2 days. They really want to take that opportunity by the scruff of the neck, because as you know, that might be their last one. So that's really is an important factor. And if you're looking at pro football these days, more and more players are taking that route into the professional game, dropping out of the Premier League academy system and dropping down the leagues and working their way up the ladder. And sometimes that rocky road, to coin a phrase, that difficult journey sometimes actually helps people helps people on their journey, and it helps them achieve more sometimes. So that's really interesting. Also, I think it's really good having the first team and the youth team. We noticed that integration, that real tightness, and seeing those guys. 12 academy players have played first team this season. I think that's amazing, and you know, all of them probably will get some sort of opportunity. So it really shows there is a tangible link from this academy to the first team and pro football, which a lot of academies don't have. So been really impressed. My major takeaways from this is obviously the provision for the players, that competitive cauldron, constantly everyone fighting for it, and that desire of these lads, the desire from these lads who've brought in and been given enough opportunity. So all in all, a great couple of days and a great academy.